What's up, you guys? It's the Authentic Empress. So, the first thought that came to my mind was um, about is it Joseph, the King of Dreams? So, if you guys are able to look up that film, it's an animated film, and watch that. If you've never seen it before, I would definitely recommend you watching that. And there are those of you who's actually very familiar with that animated expression of that story. But you could be someone who found yourself being thrown into a sense of imprisonment, okay? Um, or circumstances where you were there for a significant amount of time while there was a discussion going on about whether you're guilty or innocent in a matter where you were falsely accused. So there's been a lot of efforts invested in trying to prove that you're guilty of a false narrative that was formed of you as a result. And there's something about what you're doing in the meantime while you're suffering or experiencing some form of circumstances while your innocence is being debated. So just like Joseph, he found a way to make peace in his imprisonment. And even though he didn't have much um, to work with when he was imprisoned, he was able to literally grow a tree out of the cement, out of the pavement while he was imprisoned. And there was somebody who knew he was innocent, somebody who genuinely loved him, somebody whom he loved, okay, who would sneak and bring him food, okay, will bring him, and not just any food, but wholesome fruits, right? Um, so whether that's somebody who is a romantic partner in your life, whether that's a genuine friend in your life, or a genuine family member, there's somebody in your life who is, checking on you, or they come and they bring you something that's very vital for you to help you sustain through whatever circumstances that you're going through that you shouldn't be going through. Unjust circumstances due to a false accusation. And something that you had to find peace with and acceptance was the fact that you were put in certain harsh conditions, one that you didn't deserve, something that it didn't just happen on one occurrence, but there were several occurrences of people setting you up, okay, due to some type of jealousy or them being upset with you rejecting them. And the audacity of them being upset with you rejecting them, because there could even be something significant about these people already being involved with someone and being upset with you because you rejected their advances or their efforts, considering one, you're not into them like that, two, you're respectful of yourself, of them, and their partner, right? Because in Joseph's case, when he got thrown into jail, he was thrown into imprisonment because the Pharaoh's wife lied and accused him of assaulting her, sexually assaulting her, or making advances at her, when it was actually the other way around. She actually made sexual advances at him, and he refused it. He literally had to kind of fight himself away, like pull himself away from her, because she couldn't take no for an answer. So there's somebody who refused to take no for an answer, okay, when it comes to your involvement with them in any way, shape, or form, or your involvement with their low vibrational activities or invitations. There's something about this person using their power, using their influence, using their position against you, okay, um, to, in a way, try and mend their own embarrassment, or try to get back at you for them humiliating themselves, but them trying to redefine their self-humiliation as if you humiliated them directly. So again, there's something about you making peace you finding acceptance, and if anything, you leaning on God in that situation. If yeah, one of the best songs in that movie was when he was imprisoned, and he literally was saying, "You know better than I, you know the way," and he was singing that to God. He was singing that to God. So there could be something significant about you going through um, some type of changes with your appearance, due to you being restricted, you experiencing limitations that were brought upon you due to false accusations. And there was a hope that you will be deteriorated um, by those limitations and that restriction, or you facing some type of conditions or circumstances as a result of these false accusations and these false narratives that were formed about you, only to cover only for the accuser to cover their own ass, to cover up what they've done to you, to cover up what they've done to take advantage of you. Okay? So there's something significant about what you do or what you're capable of, your gifts and your abilities, something that's already been proven of you, something that people can't just find any and everywhere within these groups and whatever this community is that was a part of this verdict to imprison you, or the community that supported a lie, or that others who supported a community that formulated a false narrative about you. There's something about God plaguing these people being under severe judgment, and not having the answers. If these people thought that they had people in place who was also spiritual, who was also gifted, or who are magicians and practitioners and sorcerers and whatever, and witches and warlocks and la 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 la, there's something that these individuals are unable to figure out. There's something that they're unable to gain insight of. There's something that they lack. They lack the information or the access to source to develop a solution, right? And as a result, they're doubling back around to you. And so there could be a person of power, because you know how Pharaoh knew that Joseph had dreams. Pharaoh, he knew that Joseph had a gift of dreaming. Um, and so he was faced with a situation where he was responsible for so many people, and he was responsible for um, the quote unquote, let's just say his kingdom, let's say that. But he was void of being able to do anything for them, anything to protect them, anything to stop the plagues, to stop the famine, because famine is significant. Famine can be significant with these people, okay, who joined together in a false verdict or accusation against you. But it's something about these people needing you, okay, to overturn or grant them some type of solutions when it comes to surviving famine. There's something about people needing your wisdom, needing your knowledge, okay, needing your prophetic gifts now at this time, okay. Um, there could be something significant about two two significant dynamics that you've been dealing with over time, when it comes to karmic relatives, karmic family, and when it comes to another dynamic of people or community, okay. And it's this energy of you experiencing great betrayals back to back when it comes to not only your karmic family, where you were birthed from, where you were raised, but wherever you went as a result of whatever you experienced with them, wherever you were guided, okay, wherever you were taken, wherever you felt pushed to go to, okay. There's something about you being betrayed also in this environment as well, okay. You being made to feel like you don't have anybody because your family already betrayed you. And there can even be something significant about somebody this betrayal that happened in the family at the expense of a particular family member who loves and adores you. They love you so much, they adore you so much. This could be a parent, this could be anybody. This could be a parent, a cousin, a brother, a daughter, a son, a whomever. There's somebody, okay, whom these actions against you, just trying to set you up out of jealousy, out of envy, out of greed. There's something about this being at the expense of loved ones who genuinely love you and miss you. Okay, this can even be like my favorite cousin, my favorite this, my favorite, or there's just something about you. The love is just like the way that love is supposed to be expressed between two individuals or two people. It's genuine love. Um, there could even be something significant about a replacement or trying to replace your energy, and it's not the same. It's not the same. So this could be related to a child. This could be related to a person, like just another person that was supposed to replace you, and whatever these dynamics may be. And it's just not the same without you. There's something about during this separation from these people, and after you've experienced some type of great betrayal that followed behind um, the great betrayal by your karmic family, the people that you loved. Um, because there's something significant about people that you love and people that you you dealt with circumstantially to an extent, or people that you just ended up around, okay, and formulated connections with, okay, people who gained a like towards you because of your abilities, because of your mannerisms, because of how you conduct yourself, because of your integrity and your skill, your advancement. Okay, there's something significant about you being advanced, okay, in certain areas of your life that's very conducive to wherever you ended up. Because that was the case with Joseph. When they found out that Joseph could read and write and draw, then he began to draw and do all of that, in the palace. Like he went from scrubbing floors to doing the paintings and the descriptions and stuff on the palace walls. Okay, and then right after that, it's almost like being lifted up to be dropped down on your face after people develop a strong sense of attraction toward him, a strong like toward him. And the thing about it is, some of these people who develop a strong like or desire towards you, like just after seeing you express your skills and your abilities or things that you're good at. Um, some of these, likes and desires were, in a sense, predatory and perverted, distorted. So there's something about, again, like stated earlier, some type of advances made at you that you rejected. And even though you could have even rejected it, you could have tried and rejected these energies of this person politely. There's something about them just being so offended because of who they are, because of what position they have, what title they have, what reputation they have, how they see themselves, or who they're connected to. They felt so offended that you would reject you. This is somebody who could even have some type of mindset of looking at you like you're beneath them. Like you should be grateful that I'm even entertaining you or giving you some kind of access to me in this way. But there is something significant about boundaries. You respecting boundaries, your boundaries, and somebody else's boundaries. Okay, that somebody else could be a higher authority. Okay, something that's a higher authority in your life. That can be God. That can be whatever. That can just be boundaries, like your foundational boundaries, um, and standards that's set on your own life. Okay, whatever that may look like. And yeah, there's something about you dealing with multiple attempts to bury you, to bury who you are, to bury who God predestined you to be, to take you away from living out your purpose or things about you that your soul is equipped with, that you've been equipped with, things that you've developed in so that you can live it out fully and also benefit from it. And it contributes to your growth, your expansion, and your ascension. There's something about those people who felt rejected, who couldn't take no for an answer, trying to disrupt or interfere with that path for you, with your progress, okay? Like almost wanting to teach you a lesson somehow, abusing their power to put you back, or this energy of I can put you back to, where you were. Don't get ahead of yourself, or who do you think you are? It's kind of like that energy. Like, see, if you would have, I bet you regret rejecting me now. Like, it's that type of energy. I bet you regret rejecting me. I bet you regret standing on your laurels now. I bet you regret your boundaries now. I bet you wish you would have made a decision to do what I wanted you to do. Like, they want you to be in that energy, but you're not. There's something about, even though they want you to be focused toward what they've been able to do by abusing their power, there's something about you just being focused on yourself. And what I mean by being focused on yourself, like, it's more so focused on yourself in a sense of like evaluating why these events or these course of events are even happening, and consulting with God about it. Okay, and even being grateful of the honest exchanges of love that you have experienced with someone or others. Okay, this could be you finding solace in the people whom you know would never do you any harm. The people that you know is probably worried about you, understandably so, but more so finding solace and understanding why these order of events happened. And even if you don't have the full why, being at peace with knowing that I still made the right decision. I made the right decision to reject that married woman. I made the right decision to reject that married man. I made the right decision. You know what I'm saying? Regardless of them lying, regardless of the accusation, I have peace in knowing that I made the right decision. I have peace in knowing that I didn't betray the Pharaoh. They're going to say I betrayed the Pharaoh. She's saying that I betrayed the Pharaoh, but I have peace in knowing that I didn't, right? And how you're still manifesting something fruitful for yourself as a result of being in that mentality, being in that headspace, and that oneness with God. And there's something about God giving you evidence of you being able to grow something out of nothing, create something out of nothing, even with those conditions that you are in, or the circumstances that you are facing at the result of a lie. Mm-hmm. You didn't lose your sense of what you're able to do with your hands, you know, what you're able to give birth to and create. Yeah. And even in the times when you fasted and you went without, this is you not cursing God. This is you humbling yourself. This is God aligning you with somebody just in time before things got worse. Okay? And that unforgettable energy that you have for those who genuinely mean you well, who genuinely love you back. There's something very unforgettable about your essence, about your integrity, about your good nature, about your charity. Okay, okay. So this gonna be people whom you've done things for out of the kindness of your heart. There's something about these people remembering who and how you are and what you've done for them, and them showing up or being in place. God having these people in place. And I'm not getting that this is a lot of people, because with Joseph, the only person who really came and checked on him while he was in prison was the girl that he fell in love with shortly before. Mm-hmm. The person who refused to side with everybody else because they've experienced who you are themselves. They know the kind of person you are. They know that you wouldn't do something like that. They knew something was a lie, and they're also able to see through somebody's arrogance. There's something about somebody's demeanor. Okay, there could be something significant about somebody smirking or cracking a smile or having like some type of sinister smile to them about something that's happening to you or something that's happened to you. And a person who's experienced you directly, basically peeping game, okay, peeping what's actually happening, okay, and moving accordingly to ensure that um, you're good. So even though his, because she eventually became his wife, even though she had to sneak right to where he was in prison to um, give him food and fruits and everything, to things that will sustain him, um, she still got it done. She wanted to let him know that even if they want you to feel forgotten, I didn't forget you, right? And I see you, and I know you're telling the truth. Even if everybody else is believing the liar who has power because of their title and their position or who they're connected to, I know that the person's a liar. I see what you see, and I respect you, and I respect your strength. And stay strong. Be of good courage. I got you. Even when we're in distance, even when you're in prison and I'm out here, I got you. Period. And again, it's about how God got you as well. How God just created, how God began to curse and terrorize the people who put you in those circumstances, in that condition, over a lie. Losing their children, because God looking at it like, you don't care about what you've done to my child. You don't care about putting me in a predicament where I could possibly lose my child. I can lose my child by them losing their minds, losing themselves, by them being put in conditions and limitations that only somebody who's a true man, look, that a monstrous being deserves to be in. And my child is far from that. So y'all think y'all can abuse y'all's title, y'all's power, okay? You want to play me, you want to play God and do it, and you want to do it wrong? I'm going to show you how to do it right. And that's God's energy with these people. I'm going to show you how to deal justly. I'm going to show you how to deal righteously when it comes to those who are deceivers and those who are people of integrity, those who are just, righteous, pure, innocent. I'm going to show you how to handle the guilty. And that's exactly what God proceeded to do. He began to plague these people. Even if we refer back to Prince of Egypt, um, is Prince of Egypt about? I think Prince of Egypt is about Moses. Even if we refer to that, how God began to show, oh, okay, Pharaoh. So this is what you're choosing to do with your power when it comes to dealing justly or unjustly. Let me show you the right way to do it. Let me show you directly within your own home. Mm-hmm. I want you to see it. I'm going to make sure you feel it. Yep. How you try to use the strategy of torment, okay, for control, to deflect responsibility and accountability. Okay, cool. You don't mind plaguing a people unrighteously? So let me show you how I'm going to plague people righteously. You're going to choose to put criminals above the pure in heart. You're going to whip and abuse the pure in heart and put the criminals on a pedestal. Okay. So how about I whip? Mm-hmm. How about I whip and put the rod of correction on the criminals and avenge the pure in heart? How about I do things that you wish you could do, that you thought somehow in your mind, in your brain, you actually thought that you willed enough power to do tremendous things to cause great shifts. Well, watch this. Watch I part the Red Sea. Mm-hmm. Watch I part the Red Sea only long enough for the pure in heart to get through and look at you in your arrogance. Ah, pity, pity. You can't see that there's something supernatural helping these people. You can't see, you still can't see me, Pharaoh. You can't explain how the Red Sea is being parted. So you underestimate the fact that my son, that Moses, is in flesh. Yeah, you underestimate that. Even though he told you where the power is coming from me. But you don't believe in me, Pharaoh. So let me show you. You really thought in all of your arrogance you were just going to follow behind the pure in heart who I parted the sea for them to get away from you. The whole point of me parting the sea was to get the pure hearted away from you and your gang of criminals. And you actually thought y'all were just going to run through here as well? Interesting. So you follow behind the people that I'm setting free from you through the parting of the Red Sea, and you really thought that the same way I parted the Red Sea, that I wouldn't bring that sea back together and drown every single one of you and your gang members. Yeah. Are you still looking at this fight as if it's you fighting Moses? No, you're fighting me, Pharaoh. You're fighting the Most High. You're fighting something far greater and supernatural, something unexplainable. You still don't believe? You still lack faith? Hmm. When all you had to do was let them go. It's not like they did anything for them to be held up, for them to be in prison. Like, so I'm trying to understand what is this friction around letting the person go who's innocent? What's going on there, Pharaoh? What is wrong with you? Who the fuck do you think you are? That breath behind those words, those arrogant, the arrogant shit that you're spewing out of your mouth. You forgot who can take that away from you with ease? Pharaoh. You view healing as a weakness. You viewed it as something that lacked benefit or lacked power. But I did it in your face with Moses. I did it with your brother. I did it. Mm-hmm. And it's so sad because y'all have to remember, Pharaoh and Moses, they were not blood brothers. Moses ended up in Egypt because of the call to kill all boys, baby boys, where he was from. And in an attempt to spare him and save him, his mom put him in a basket and sent him over the river with song and prayer that God will direct him somewhere safe. And that's exactly what happened. And he was raised up amongst the very people who made the command to kill all of his kind, of his ethnicity. He was raised up by them. And that's why, even in the face of injustice, even though he was treated like royalty, but in the face of injustice, there was just something, that anointing within him, that would just get fired up. Period. Like, we're not doing this. We're not about to do this. It's not about to happen in front of me. Right? So eventually, he grew apart from Pharaoh. He grew apart from the very people whom he'd grown to learn and make the connections that these are the same people who has enslaved his people. Understanding, like, listen, what's the term? What's the wake up call? His wake up call was, that could have been me. If my mom didn't take a leap out on faith and put me on that river, that could have been me. Slaving, getting whipped, beat, treated like nothing. That could have been me. And so that sent him on his dark night of the soul. That sent him on that nomad's journey, that fool's journey, hermit mode, looking for safety, looking to escape, right? And God met him. God met him and transformed him, renewed him, redeemed him, helped him understand that don't beat yourself up. This is a part of your purpose. This is a part of your purpose. And this is what I need you to do. This is what I'm asking you to do. And I know what you've seen. I know the terrors that you've seen, and I know how your flesh may be slightly intimidated by the powers that's being abused. But I need you to trust me. And I need you to go forward knowing that with me you can do all things. Are you going to choose, in this situation, are you going to choose obedience to God? Or are you going to choose sacrifice? Because what happens if you disobey the purpose that God has granted you? If you disobey your purpose, you sacrifice the very people that is tied to your purpose, setting free. So then that's you having blood on your hands. That's you becoming the one that you think you're running from and escaping from. I need you to do more than escape. That was his mission. That was the dynamic with Moses and God. And the thing is, he had to be built up. He had to be built up when it comes to his faith and renewal and happiness. And man, look, he had to have his faith be built up by miracles, the miracles of God, God revealing himself to Moses. Things that no man can explain, God revealed that to Moses to build his courage to go forth anyway, despite what it looks like. And when Moses fully embodied that God, that divine courage, that oneness with God, when he fully embodied it, understanding that he's just a vessel for God to express himself through, he was unstoppable. And that's the season that we're in, collective. The Pharaoh for you could be that generational curse. It can be that entity that's feeding off the bloodline. Regardless of how it's expressing itself, whether it be perverted and sexual in nature, whether it be greed and gluttonous in nature, envy, whatever it may be. And it's crazy, like the way that I'm seeing the word sin, like SIN, I'm seeing it as SIM, like a SIM card. How you put the SIM card in your phone, right? For you to actually be able to use the phone for real. To make calls, to receive calls. That's kind of how it is. Whatever the entity is that's giving you or creating friction when it comes to letting your people go. The pure ones, those who are innocent, letting them go. Right? There's certain stronger sinful energies that's fueling the entity. You get what I'm saying? And so I want you, after me saying that, now reconsider when we use the phrase entity attachment. Think about whom you've seen these similar energies express itself through. Think about the family members that it expresses itself through. Think about how it will body hop and body jump and even to you at some point. Think about that. The attachment. How it attaches itself. Who is it attached to? That's very clear to you. So your innocence is being proven with all their efforts to prove you guilty. They're proving your innocence, and they're actually proving their own guilt. Classic. Digging their own graves and falling into classic. Because even if we go back to Joseph, they needed Joseph. And once they realized that his prophecies were true, oh wow. Not only were they thankful, were they grateful, were they apologetic, they appointed him to a higher position. Wow. How you come up from a slave to a king. How you transform from a slave to an empress, a slave to an emperor, a slave to a queen. That wouldn't have happened without the hills and the valleys. And that's what these people are realizing. That's what they're realizing about you. From scrubbing floors to drawing the things that people have long been studying for centuries, ever since. But we think about Egyptian hieroglyphs. So you went from, let's really take it back. You were prayed for, asked for by your parents, manifested. Okay? And I want to say his mother was supposedly barren, right? There could be something significant about your mother having fertility issues before or after you. But you know, Joseph's mom was supposed to be barren, I believe. I think so. I could be mixing, I could be confusing stories, so don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. But I feel like there was something about she was old in age. I think that's what it was. She was old in age, I believe. Yep, that's what it was. She was old in age, and so excuse me for mixing up two different women in the Bible. But his mother, I believe, was old in age, and she bore him anyway. Um, I know it's either or for sure, but he was born a gifted child. He was born very gifted, and set apart from his brothers, and it was so many of his brothers, right? His journey to even get through to get here for God to get him here. You get what I'm saying? Like the odds was already against him. Both of his parents were older. So you can have older parents for some of you. But the odds were already against him, according to man's definition, not God's, though, right? So, understanding his comprehension skills and um, understanding that his purpose was different, he had a unique purpose, and his parents feeding that, investing in that, Um, even though they invested in their other kids, it still began to birth a jealousy and an envy in his siblings, particularly his older brother. Um, and it was even worse when certain things were given to him. Y'all know how his dad granted him that robe, and then even when Joseph started having dreams, it's almost like God started to show the brothers, like, look, your dad not tripping. It's not that he's showing favoritism, like, look, so when Joseph began to have these dreams and share these dreams, it only fueled their jealousy even more. And they came to the verdict that he gotta go. So they set him up. Y'all know the story. And they went as far as making his father believe that Joseph was murdered by wolves. They came with his clothing. They took his clothing off of him after they kidnapped him and sold him into slavery. They took particles of his clothing, put blood on it from an animal, and took it back to his father. They cued the crocodile tears. They joined together with the lie. Oh yeah, we witnessed it. We saw it. We saw the da 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 da. We couldn't find his body, but this is what was left of him. And they all joined together in that lie. And they held on to that lie. They was gonna take that shit to their grave. Yeah. They was gonna take that shit to their grave. Until famine swept the land. And God brought them right back around to Joseph. And the thing is, when they seemingly got away with selling him off and getting the dad to believe that, something tragic happened to him, but the point is, he's no more. He's not around anymore. You don't have to be triggered by his presence anymore, or by the dynamic of dad and Joseph's relationship anymore. He's not such a golden child now. She's not such a golden child now, right? I just saw the death card. And you got the devil card in reverse. And then you got the Three of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. You know that they were celebrating the fact that it seemed like they got away with it. They were celebrating that behind the scenes while Joseph is off, Starting off as a slave, scrubbing floors. They laughed, they mocked, they joked about it. They even wished that his experience would be horrific, that he needed to be humbled. He needed to be brought down off those stacks of hay. You remember that dream? You remember his dream about him being on the taller stacks of hay, and the hay that we were standing on was shorter. Well, who's in the shorter? Who's beneath us now? Right? You remember they pushed him in a hole. They put his body in a hole in the ground. You don't seem like you're above us now. Who's beneath us now? If we're standing on shorter stacks of hay, you in the ground. You a slave. This is how they were talking. This was their attitudes. hmm Praying that the situation for him would grow more in darkness and suffering to humble him. Who do you think you are? Teach him a lesson. Only for him to still end up on top. And not just end up on top. He ended up with a family who genuinely loved him, a community that supported him and relied on him and his gifts and his abilities, people that he was responsible with and for. And then what happened? Them same brothers had to come back around to him looking for food, looking for resources, because they failed to generate it on their own. Didn't even recognize him. And then they thought just because they were in need, they were in lack, they were just going to get it all easy, willy nilly. Nah, Joseph tested their spirits. He sure did. He tested them. Yep. And that's the thing. Even though he was triggered by the whole situation, um, them acting all innocent and protective over the newborn, his baby brother, and they're being overly protective and stuff because of the karma that followed after what they did to Joseph. Of course, they was protective over the baby brother because they wanted to avoid or they wanted to minimize the judgment that they were already under. They knew that the judgment that their family was under was their fault. Period. You got the judgment card right here. And so it triggered Joseph. Because why didn't y'all protect me? Why didn't you protect me? Why him and not me? I'm your brother too. I was y'all little brother too. Hmm. And so he tested them by using the little brother. And the older brother he took place of the little brother's enslavement. So he tested their spirits before he decided to help them. And this is what we're going to have to do as well. Okay? But you better believe that season or seasons of torment, suffering, long suffering, karma, judgment, plagues, famine, these people that did this to you, they have to go through that. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. You got the Five of Pentacles. There's no way around that. They got to go through the cold. It's giving a long winter. Long winter. But not only is your innocence being proven, your power, your dreams that you've had, dreams that others had, okay? Your prophecies are proven to be true, collective. And even though they tried to redefine your excitement about what God was revealing to you about you and your path, they try to redefine that as arrogance. They try to redefine that as somebody who needs to be humbled and whatever, when you was already that. Even when you made peace with humbling yourself, God still put you ahead. God still put you in the front. God still put you in the spotlight. God did that. They wanted you silenced. They wanted you feeling disempowered. Okay. They wanted you to doubt your gifts and your abilities, or rather, the necessity of them. They didn't want you to perceive your gifts as something as positive. They wanted you to perceive it as something that's a curse. They want you to feel like you being gifted is a curse. And God is reinstating to you that it was always a blessing. And they just simply cursed you for it. But those same gifts that is a blessing that God has given you directly will be the same gifts to free you from every curse that they've casted, conjured, and projected onto you. But one thing about it, you're going to see the evidence of that curse unfolding in their own lives. And what's going to happen? They're going to be looking for you for the benefits of your gifts to grant them freedom from the curses that they've brought on themselves and others that they were attached to who were innocent. Mm-hmm. Yep. So there may be some people who's going to be willing to sacrifice themselves for redemption. People who were leading the rebellion against you, because remember, in his case, in Joseph's case, his older brother led the rebellion against him, and that same older brother sacrificed or gave himself up for the baby brother when they came back around and needed food and resources from Joseph. So I'm telling you, who you are now, after going through these hills and valleys and this false imprisonment, you're unrecognizable to these people. Mm-hmm. Unrecognizable. Yeah. They wanted you to feel alone and abandoned. You're going to create your own family. Mm-hmm. And you're going to be reunited with loved ones, genuine loved ones. There's going to be people who are apologetic, who betrayed you. Mm-hmm. There's going to be people kicking themselves if it's not already happening, beating themselves up, kicking themselves. Like, dang, this was a part of. It was about legacy. It was about the legacy. It was about the legacy the whole time. It wasn't just about me or me trying to make it seem like it's a competition thing, right? They're going to have to sit with that. It was about who was susceptible for God to use them for something far greater than the flesh, far greater than just the family. Because not only did he end up helping his family, he served a community, communities, a kingdom of people. So there's something very significant about your youth, okay? There can even be like a nostalgia that's reemerging, a nostalgia, and what I mean, like things about you, the way that you speak, the way you conceptualize things, the way that you just like how activated your gifts are, fully resurfacing. Things that were made dormant because of the suffering that you've endured as a result of you being gifted at the hands of jealousy and envy and people being upset because you rejected them. Rightfully so, you rejected them though. All those things about you are resurfacing. They never left you. They could have been lying dormant, but they never left you. Mm-hmm. And it's reigniting. Mm-hmm. They're reawakening. There could have been things within you that was sleep, that was on sleep mode. Okay. And if it was up to certain individuals, you will be dead. Mm-hmm. That's just the reality. And even though it may seem very you know, like tough love, the way I'm saying it to you, like my intent is that you really take it serious, like you really see it for what it is, and you don't allow yourself to be weakened by the disappointment of, you know, them not treating you the way they should have, the way you deserve to be treated. And it's like, why not? And you know, even the whole internal struggle with seeing them treat somebody else with that respect, with that love that you deserve, that love that you always desired. Because Joseph loved his brothers, he loved his family so much. Even when they would set him up and do little weird stuff so they can run and laugh about it in secret behind his back, he loved him, man. He loved him. And they still sacrificed him, only to find out that they were sacrificing themselves. You got the high priestess and the ace of cups and the emperor all here together. Confirmation. I'm telling you, there's something significant about your dreams, things that you've prophesied in the past. Yep. About devil energy, about five of pentacles energy, about the three of pentacles. There's some people, I'm telling you, they're in a dark season. You got the five of cups here, the tower card, about their investments because of what they've invested in. Seven of pentacles. Baby, every single one of these cards, the background is black and gray. You heard? I'm telling you. Is that like, listen, they're trying to cover it up, okay? Somebody's trying to cover up how bad something really is. It's gonna be multiple individuals because with the five of cups, this person has on a cloak, black cloak, okay? There's something significant about somebody trying to hide their suffering behind anger, mm-hmm, behind arrogance or behind pride, okay? Something about the color red is significant. Y'all know red indicates danger or to stop, danger, okay? Power, blood, bloodshed, okay? War, passion, mm-hmm, sensuality, seduction. Scorpio energy and Capricorn energy is heavily significant. I'm telling you, y'all, these are people who are in a season of winter, okay? This is talking about barren trees, no fruits, no leaves. It's cold, cold hearts, okay? Mm-hmm. Regret, the five of cups here. I'm saying like huge changes. You got the five of cups and the five of pentacles here side by side, and the tower and the devil. This is giving plague energy. There's something going on within the family unit. There's something going on within the community where they are experiencing significant shocking losses, devastation, okay? And whatever that, it's like they can't do anything about this. Some of them can even still be trying to formulate some type of plan on how to get out of this, or it's not, they're in darkness. Even in the three of pentacles, they are in darkness. They are not going to be able to plan anything in secret to trick you, to deceive you, nothing, because you're going to test the spirits. You're going to test them just like Joseph tested them. This is sad, you know. I'm telling you, there's somebody who's like suffering from the heartbreak of you not being around, and it's contributing to the suffering of those who contributed to sacrificing you, who contributed to this lie, this false narrative. Somebody hasn't been the same ever since you left. It's like they wanted somebody to just like kind of get over you and cling to them, you know, with that favoritism energy, like the way they perceived Joseph's father with him. They thought that if Joseph was gone, you know, that they would be picked, they would be chosen, they would be perceived by the dad as the chosen one or as the special one, da 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 da. And whether this, you know, is a family dynamic or whether this is something to do with a relationship, okay, and pick me energy. But the energy is here. These people are in pure darkness. They can't see their way. So if they are trying to do things, it's aimless, whatever they're trying to do. They're directionless. Mm-hmm. And it's given like everywhere they turn, darkness. They're being met with others who are dark and sinister. They're being met with people who are cold hearted. They're being met with people who are disregarding their feelings, disregarding what they're going through, what they're experiencing. That's what they're being met with, and this is karma because out of everything in the spread, you got two pentacle cards. That's the Five of Pentacles and the Three of Pentacles. Those pentacles together is the number 8. This is a karmic cycle. This is a karmic loop. This is a karmic energy that they're in right now. And you really got 8 out here with man, listen. With the tower energy, the 8th house, Scorpio. So whatever they did, well, whatever was done in regards to secrets, inheritances, um, sex, whatever was done, sacrifice, death, rituals, it doesn't matter. Everything that embodies the 8th house and everything that embodies then is that the 10th house, Capricorn. They're experiencing extreme limitations and restrictions, okay? And what you've been able to do while you were experiencing or while you're experiencing these limitations and restrictions, they're not there. They're not able to do this. It's like they're they're too far into a dark space within their minds and their emotions to see themselves, to see their way out, you know. And there's something about you literally being the sun energy, so it's like they can't help but to look at you. They can't help but to see you because they're surrounded by darkness. They're filled with darkness. Yep. Somebody got hurt. Like somebody, there's several individuals got hurt here. Yep. And in a more exact number, certainly 3. It's a guaranteed 2. It's a guaranteed 3 people. Guaranteed. Because in this tower, you got 2 people who's blasted out of the tower. Okay, they're injured. In the 5 of Pentacles, you got 1 person on crutches. They're injured. There's a guaranteed 3 people that's injured here. And there's a guaranteed 2 that's experiencing some type of deep emotional suffering and regret. There's definitely 3 that's trying to hide something here that they're suffering from or with. Okay, because I have 3 cloaked individuals in the spread. They're cloaked. Okay. Yep. It's a lot of holding their head down energy. Like, listen, mm, lacking confidence, lacking self-esteem. Somebody could really be feeling ugly if there was attacks on your appearance and how you're seen, how you're viewed, how you're perceived, trying to confuse how people perceive you. There's something that somebody's trying to hide that's obvious about them that they don't want people to see. Yep. Damn. There's something about people's throat chakra, their root chakra, their sacral, and their solar becoming darkened, becoming, I don't know, like consumed with the pollution that they put out. Yep. Mm. Yep. And there's some individuals, there's two individuals, there's somebody that's feeling binded, or they're all feeling binded to some type of misfortune here with the devil card. They're definitely exposed because y'all know in the devil card there's two people who are nude. So, and they're bringing my attention to the people who are cloaked for sure. But all of these people, all these things that this is exposed. It's being exposed, it's actively being exposed, it's certainly revealed to you. Mm-hmm. Hmm. It could be an earth sign that's significant, okay, and a water sign. Or there's something going on with their foundation, okay? This is material loss and emotional loss, okay? Because I also heard like grievance. You got the color green here too, so man, like yeah, I feel like though. Did we say all the colors? Just about. No, there's no purple here, so they're aware, you know, and that's the thing about it. Like they're aware of why these things are happening to them. Yeah, that energy of trying to distract yourself, okay, from what you're going through, what you're doing, that's not working for them. There's no purple in these cards. No purple, no indigo. You got blue, green, orange, red, and yellow. And you also have a lot of black energy, a lot of gray, black and gray energy here surrounding these colors that are mentioned, surrounding these chakras, consuming these chakras. There's more black than any other color in the whole spread. Yep. Mm-hmm. There's something about people being set up by a fake option or fake options. Like there's something like that too. Yep. This is crazy. Let me see. Can you show me collective's energy, divine collective's energy while all this is going on? I already know it's gonna come out. You got 555 on the clock. You got the Queen of Cups and the Emperor. Mm-hmm. And the King of Wands. And I was just about to say, you're standing in your power. Yep. Your work is paying off. Eight of Pentacles. Mm-hmm. The Queen of Swords. The Knight of Cups. Yep, they're feeling intimidated. It's like there's energies that want to repent, that want to confess, that want to apologize, but they're intimidated by your power. Confirmation, Knight of Cups, Queen of Swords, and the Ace of Wands. These are people who are feeling small compared to you. And they did everything in their power to make you feel small. Now you got the Queen of Pentacles here. Your colors, there's something very vibrant about your energy. Then you got the Empress. Mm. You know that energy of, oh, it's always one thing after another. This is what these people are experiencing. And it has something to do with the death in the reverse when it comes to your intuition or your creativity, your intuition. I just saw the High Priestess. Okay? And something about not being able to clear your memory through some type of conflict or chaos, okay? with the Five of Wands. Yep. It's like they were trying to stop something from growing, and when it comes to things that you know, or you revealing something, you doing something, okay? But this is protected. You got the Seven of Wands. Seven of Wands and the Four of Pentacles. Yeah, you know how depending on how much trauma somebody experiences, it can affect their memory. This was a fail with you though. This was a fail, and if this is something tied to your creativity, you got the Six of Wands here. It's not stopping it. High Priestess here again, and the Eight of Wands is not stopping it. Something is coming full force, full throttle. Okay, something is coming in, or there's something about your movement, your forward movement, your downloads, or this could even be about projections. There could be a lot more heavier projections coming towards you, something like that. And yeah, and what I just thought about again was when Joseph was thrown in prison over that fake accusation. So there's something about you getting through something where there was like a community who appeared to have a lot of power coming up against you, or you facing that, okay? Seemingly alone, but not really. hmm Yeah, you're surrounded with a lot of mystery right now, okay? There's mystery surrounding your ability to overcome, or your ability to stay balanced or reestablish balance within yourself, okay? When it came to some type of death here, an attempt on your life. You got the Death in the reverse and the Hierophant. Yeah, definitely something about a community, a spiritual community, an organization, so an organized death that failed, an organized ending that was unsuccessful, okay? Or something to do with the court. Something to do with court, okay? Um, this even speak to being unsuccessful and putting a depth to your faith, okay? Your faith, your power, your star potential, your ability to overcome, your ability to oversee. And that's the thing about being prophetic, is your foresight. Your foresight, and you having like this overseer energy, because source literally is the overseer of overseers, right? If God is going to help you oversee something, or keep you 10 steps ahead, or reveal things to you before they spring up, it's because God is able to see all, okay? And I know that sounds very kindergarten, but you got the Queen of Swords. It needed to be said. Harsh truths. You got the Queen of Swords and the Three of Swords. There's something about some harsh truths here. There was definitely a brutal betrayal that did not work, that did not silence you, or it did not disable some type of strong mind, the strong mindedness energy, okay, your mental balance, your mental health. Some type of strong betrayal did not tear down or wear down your mental health. You got the Eight of Pentacles in the reverse. It didn't work. And even with this Eight of Pentacles in reverse, it makes me, because the guy is like, he's hammering a pentacle, but they're building. So with it being in reverse, this is somebody like trying to wear down what you've built, or what's been built up within you over time. They've been trying to wear you down. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's something about you pulling these swords out of your heart, out of your back, and willing those swords. Because with the Five of Swords and these people that's walking away in defeat, this person that got all this green on and all this red on, you know what I'm saying? Heart chakra in their heart space. Okay, root grounded, steady. And I just heard rock steady, but steady, rooted, grounded. A tree, right? They didn't, it's like you took the swords of these betrayals, and now you're willing those swords. You got them in your hands. It's like, dang, you like, how are you in your heart space, and how are you still rooted and grounded within yourself, within your faith? And it's like we put all these swords in your heart. Your heart's supposed to be weaker, not stronger. And it's crazy because the Queen of Swords is here twice, double Queen of Swords. I'm telling you, there's something about what you did with the swords that were intended to put an end to you. You got the temperaments and the Ace of Cups. Whether that was cutting webs from around you, cutting cords off of you, cutting off attachments, cutting yourself through something that was supposed to keep you restricted and limited, whatever it may be. Perseverance, you got the 9 of Wands. You persevered. There's some type of communication or information coming in, or information, communication going on about this. There's something about them watching you do this with the Page of Swords. Watching you persevere through some type of attempts to sacrifice you. Watching you to see if you know about them being sacrificed behind the scenes. Watching to see if you know about some type of betrayals that they're facing now. But you're in this Chariot energy. You're in the Chariot moving towards the King of Pentacles energy. Yep, and somebody's mentally conflicted, experiencing some type of mental turmoil. Somebody could be facing imprisonment, okay, with the 8 of Swords. Somebody could have authorities, the authorities on them, okay, confirmation with the Sun card. Somebody could be a Leo, somebody could be a Cancer, somebody could be a Cancer, Leo, cusp. Something to be significant about that season. Definitely something significant about your heart. How strong your heart is. You're strong-hearted, courageous-hearted. Yep. It took a lot of courage for you to have faith, okay, and still put your best foot forward, granted the conditions that you were put in. King of Pentacles. This is what's putting you in this King of Pentacles energy, or this is what makes you this King of Pentacles, because it's an energy. Yep. Ace of Wands. Your willpower. You have a very strong willpower. Don't underestimate how strong your will is. It has a lot to do with your authenticity. Loving yourself unconditionally, okay? Loving God unconditionally. A lot of times when we talk about unconditional love, we tend to associate that with people, okay? You're in some type of new cycle now. 6:04 on the clock, 10. As soon as I said that, I pulled the 10 of Pentacles. Sitting right here in my hand. You're in this cycle of unconditional love towards God. No matter what, I don't care what the fuck happened, what I go through, what it looked like. I don't care if I'm scrubbing floors. I don't care if I get thrown into prison over a lie. I don't care. I love God unconditionally. I know God loves me. As long as I'm in good standing with God, it's gonna work out. Yep. This is what's fueling your perseverance. Yep. Yep. And it's attributing to it's attributing to your innocence. Something is coming to rest here. You're bringing something to rest, okay? Listen, the word confirmation, you're putting a complete end to something. It's giving a grand finale. I'm hearing the song, The Final Countdown. But grand finale. I heard the final countdown first, but then Spirit said, no, this is the grand finale. I just saw the Lover's card. Something new. You got the Page of Pentacles. And this is making me think about predestined energy. This was predestined. Ace of Pentacles. Listen? This was predestined. From the Page of Pentacles to the Ace of Pentacles. I just got chills. I literally felt oh my God. Whoa. Somebody could be sick, okay? These people that's in this dark energy, or they could be feeling sick about what's happening, how things are unfolding. Somebody's sick. There's something significant about dizzy spells backfiring, okay? Somebody's feeling dizzy. I'm hearing neo. Okay. Neonatal could be significant. There could be something significant about a pregnancy or something that was done during that stage of your mom's pregnancy or your pregnancy with your child. Somebody could have tried to do dizzy spells on you. Okay, cause you to lose something, cause you to suffer something here, something that will break your heart. something that will be hard for you to recover. There could be something significant about miscarriages, somebody trying to project that onto you or do spells and witchcraft for you to miscarry something. If this is not talking about a baby, this is talking about your investments. Somebody wanted you to miscarry your investments. 606 on the clock. They definitely wanted you to listen. Oh my God. Mm, 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 mm. Star 67 could be significant. Is it star 67, star 69? Star 67 could be significant. Private calls could be significant, okay? Or somebody trying to call you, reach out to you privately could be significant. Um, there's something about that song by Drake. I think Drake has a song called Star 67. But I had got another download right before that. You know the phrase of you got somebody scratching their head, like even with me, you know, because I'm a kinky girl like, as far as my hair, you know, 4C, I got locks and stuff that's growing healthily, so I'm scratching my head. But it's something about you having people scratching their heads, trying to understand, like, or just trying to. These are people who are struggling to accept their fate. They're struggling to accept how things are playing out right now. Mm-hmm. They're going through a struggle. It's a struggle. There's a struggle going on behind the scenes about your story. Excuse me, about their story, about a false story, and about the real story. There's a struggle going on about the real story and the false story. I'm hearing, this is my story. Yeah, I'm from that Chi-Town dirt. I came from to been in Versace shirts. This is my story. Money, cars. Y'all know how toxic that song is. But the message is about the story. There's struggle about the story. Cause now I'm even seeing that scene from Trapped in the Closet when everybody was on the phone on three-way for whatever. All these people, so there could be something significant about a lot of people on the phone, whether that's a group chat or a conference call, could be significant. 6 9, um, as above, so below. Okay, this could be going on in divine, like there could be righteous judgment happening, or conference, or people who are in righteous standing discussing something here, and people who are on the side of darkness trying to come up with an alibi. Okay, you got the judgment card here while I'm saying that, and while it's 6:09 on the clock. As above, so below. Mm-hmm. Yep, there's something that was art. So whatever is happening in the spirit realm is being brought forth on in the earth. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. I need y'all to understand how powerful you are. Because even with me saying this prayer, I'm vibrating. And I'm not even trying to. It's like I'm holding my deck of cards against my heart in my left hand, and I have my other hand. You know how people talk with their hands? I have my other hand, my right hand up, almost like I'm in court, like, and it's like my hand is shaking. Somebody's nervous, y'all. Somebody's nervous. Somebody's terrified. This could have something to do with court. Somebody's nervous. They're trembling with fear. Okay, about the story, about the truth coming out. Okay, about an alibi not being believed. Okay, about them being held accountable in a situation. They are shrieking with fear. I don't know who this is. Mm. Is that June? June 11th could be significant. Somebody could be born on June 11th. There could be something highly significant about that date. Okay. What's the sixth house? Somebody could be a Virgo. Somebody could be in fear about their health. Somebody could be fearing the results about their health. Okay. 11th house. Somebody could be an Aquarius, or there's something about a community's health. Okay. Community health could be significant. or there's a community that's in fear about some health results or the health of a situation, or the lack thereof. Somebody's birthday could be November 6th, or something about that date could be significant. Okay. Mm-hmm. So somebody could be a Scorpio for sure. Scorpio, Leo, Libra, Aquarius, Virgo, Cancer, Aries, Taurus. These are just signs that could be significant. Aries for sure. We got the Fool card. All right, y'all. I'm gonna end this here, um, because it's getting really long. But I'll